The line between life and death is very thin. One wrong decision can end many lives, and it was such a decision that a bus driver took in South Africa on March 28, 2024, that ended the lives of many, but a single girl was saved from a 164 feet sharp fall. What is the story behind this surprising miracle? March 28, 2024 was a day that many people anticipated in southern Africa. Plus, it was not only southern Africa, but neighboring countries like Zimbabwe and Zambia that waited for the event. Well, the excitement obviously had to be at its peak, because it was time for the yearly religious event of Zionists. This annual event draws hundreds of thousands of worshippers to Moria, a small town in South Africa's Limpopo province that serves as the spiritual center of the ZCC. Thousands eagerly awaited the Zion Christian Church Easter pilgrimage, and many made vigorous plans for the event. But what should have been a spiritual journey filled with hope and unity turned tragic. Traveling from Botswana to Moria, the emotions were at their peak. One prime reason for this was another fact. It was happening after a 3-year break due to the COVID-19 pandemic, so this was the first time the pilgrimage was back in full swing. Everyone talked about it, and among them was an 8-year-old girl as well. Lauren Siako was thrilled at the prospect. It was the first time she was going to take part in that popular pilgrimage. 8-year-old Lauren Siako loved singing, dancing, and praying at her church. What more could she want than to participate in such a big event? Her mother told her to prepare not to sleep much at the Easter gathering because the praying, singing, dancing, and prophesying take place all night. According to her, the energy is so high that the congregants rarely go to bed. Before that, different arrangements also needed to be made. The church gatherings often involve not just religious services, but camping, communal meals, and other activities, so a lot of preparation goes into making the trip. Lauren was planning the trip with her grandmother, with whom she lived and spent most of her time. Her grandmother supported her decision to go and helped her prepare likewise. Their relationship was a sweet one. Like many African families where grandparents are often deeply involved in the lives of their grandchildren, Lauren's grandmother was just one of them. She greatly adored her 8-year-old granddaughter. They shared a bond rooted in tradition, with Atlang's grandmother teaching her the values of their culture and religion and essential life lessons. Lauren took them quite seriously and became her grandmother's favorite child. Lauren's mother relates, "Lauren was her grandmother's favorite because she was so obedient. The two lived together while Lauren's mother was away working, and they were inseparable. She got her cooking skills and independent mind from her grandmother. She would wash and iron her own clothes and cook for the family. She baked bread the morning of the trip." Lauren's mother remembered how her daughter became so ambitious. Even if she failed, she never gave up. Lauren was ranked second in her class. She wanted to perform in a beauty pageant at school, but she was not picked because she walked too slowly and with her shoulders slumped, said her mother, a safety and health official at a construction site. On the pilgrimage day, both got ready with high spirits and set off, never knowing they would spend the last day with each other. The passengers on the bus alongside Lauren were also exuberant about the pivotal event for the ZCC community, plus taking part in Easter celebrations, including the pilgrims from Botswana. The worshippers were likely preparing for a weekend filled with prayers, spiritual renewal, and fellowship, making it a wonderful experience. Pilgrims gather in Moria by the tens of thousands, many dressed in the signature green and black uniforms of the ZCC, and partake in large-scale prayers, hymns, and teachings from the church leadership. The event is known for its powerful sermons and a sense of community that draws believers from all walks of life. So, the passengers on the bus were also going to participate in that large-scale event. Other than the local people, the authorities also manage the event. Transport is arranged, traffic patterns adjusted, and emergency services are put on high alert. On that day, the office of South African President Cyril Ramaphosa also sent in an Easter message to do our best to make this a safe Easter. Taking into account past accidents that happened before, safety measures were taken. It was added to the statement that it should not be a time where we sit back and wait to see statistics on tragedy or injuries on our roads. However, when death calls, who can run away? Just hours later, the bus carrying 45 passengers from Botswana to Moria, Limpopo, crashed into a 164-foot ravine. The path was windy and steep, and later it was suggested that the bus careered off in the wrong direction and that the driver could not control the bus. Navigating that brutal stretch of road is highly dangerous and is never recommendable for heavy vehicles. Transport Minister Sindisiwe Chikunga told ENCA likewise that the road has winding with sharp bends, hairpin bends, a road that I'd never advise any person who is driving a heavy vehicle, such as a bus, such as a truck, to use. Some suggest that it was a homicide on the part of the driver, a decision that took the lives of 45 pilgrims. Some reports say that that bus followed 2 cars of senior pilgrims. When the bus driver lost them, he lost his way and came on this path to catch up with them. Or maybe it was just fate calling upon them. The bus plunged into the ravine and fell on hard rocks. The high fall was destructive beyond measure, and the bus caught fire upon hitting the ground. Many passengers were trapped inside the wreckage, while others were thrown from the bus, with bodies scattered around the crash site. All the bodies, bags, and the whole bus were burnt out of recognition. Until now, only 34 bodies have been found, while only 9 are identified. The forensic team said that the bones of the bodies were burnt and fused in the fire, and this was the cause that they could not find or distinguish bodies. The scene was terrible and sent shockwaves through the whole community. But one thing that surprised them all was that a single girl, 8-year-old Lauren, was saved. Despite having severe injuries, Lauren did not get irrecoverable injuries. It is suggested that she was ejected from the bus before the bus hit the ground. Although the girl herself does not remember much, it is thought that her grandmother did the favor of keeping her granddaughter alive by throwing her out of the window before the bus crashed. South African health officials said about Lauren, "The stringy girl who had just received her passport a week before the trip and had guarded it closely has escaped with minor lacerations." Department of Transport spokesperson Mr. Cullen said the girl was in the hospital, I'm told, in stable condition. After being stabilized at the scene, she was airlifted to Mokopane Hospital for further treatment. Lauren's mother, although deeply grieved at the incident, was happy that her daughter was safe and out of danger. It was due to Lauren that the officials gained her mother's number and quickly contacted everyone. The girl found alive near the scene became a mystery and a blessing for the officials who gained all the necessary information from her. The locals who gathered near the scene could not do much because the bus was on fire, but they did call the authorities. South African authorities quickly responded to the scene. Sindisiwe Chikunga, South Africa's transport minister, visited the crash site immediately after the incident and expressed her condolences to the victims' families. She extended her heartfelt condolences to the families affected by the tragic bus crash. She added, "Our thoughts and prayers are with you during this difficult time," she said. "We continue to urge responsible driving at all times with heightened alertness as more people are on our roads this Easter weekend." South Africa has a poor road safety record. Botswana authorities also played a vital role in the aftermath of the crash. 2 cabinet ministers from Botswana were sent to South Africa to offer support to the victims' families. These officials worked closely with South African authorities to assist in identifying and repatriating the deceased. President Cyril Ramaphosa of South Africa also contacted his Botswana counterpart, President Mokgweetsi Masisi, to extend his condolences and pledge full support in helping the victims' families. This incident of Lauren getting saved, however, has raised many questions. This is considered a miracle, and a beautiful one at that. Her family is happy beyond measure. The girl's mother expressed her emotions. "It's hard to explain," she added. "I'm hurt that I lost my mom and other people, but I'm also comforted knowing that my child is alive." One of the family cousins, Mr. Salome, said, "No one can explain this miracle, but still the life of that little girl is giving everyone hope. And this girl, just her being alive, is comforting the whole family," Mr. Salome said. "This girl's giving us strength." Although they are concerned about the girl's mental condition, the tragedy she experienced, the loss of her dearest grandmother, she still has something that those poor 45 pilgrims no longer have: a life worth spending. The story of Lauren gives us hope and a reason to smile in difficult times. Even when things are steeply down, you face multiple losses, there is a last thread of hope, which is the reason to live. What do you think about it? Let us know in the comment section below. Subscribe to the channel for more videos coming.